Welcome to Hong Kong Brief. The content of the briefing includes what Orwell's 1984 says about the derelict state of contemporary Britain. Hong Kong cricket captain looks for learnings from Asian Games loss. Morning update, military drops case against Lieutenant General Stephen Whelan, citing available evidence. Vancouver's hotel shortage piques investor interest. Stock market minnows are grabbing most of the world's IPOs. What Orwell's 1984 says about the derelict state of contemporary Britain. SCMP opinion. A new novel called Julia is set to be released, which is a companion piece to George Orwell's 1984. The novel is told from the perspective of Winston Smith's girlfriend, Julia, and has been approved by the Orwell estate. The release of Julia comes as the copyright period for 1984 recently expired. The author of the article reflects on their own experience reading 1984 and discusses the themes and impact of Orwell's work. They also draw attention to the state of infrastructure and public services in Britain today, which they compare to the descriptions in 1984. Hong Kong cricket captain looks for learnings from Asian Games loss. South China Morning Post. Pakistan defeated Hong Kong by 68 runs in their Asian Games quarter-final cricket match. Amir Jamal's quick-fire 41 off 16 balls helped Pakistan reach 160 in their 20 overs. Hong Kong were then bowled out for 92 in 18.5 overs, with Kuzdal Shah taking 3 wickets for only 13 runs. Meanwhile, India defeated Nepal by 23 runs in their quarter-final match thanks to Yashasvi Jaiswal's century off just 49 balls. India reached an imposing 202 for 4 in their 20 overs, before restricting Nepal to 179 for 9. Morning update, military drops case against Lieutenant General Stephen Whelan, citing available evidence. The Globe and Mail. The military has dropped its case against Lieutenant General Stephen Whelan after a judge ruled against admitting emails between the complainant and the accused as evidence. Lt. Gen. Whelan was charged with 2 counts of conduct to the prejudice of good order and discipline under the National Defence Act in 2022. He was one of several senior officers to face sexual misconduct complaints in 2021, sparking a reckoning in the Canadian Armed Forces. The move has led to accusations that the government failed to root out long-standing sexual harassment. Saskatchewan is one of 6 Canadian jurisdictions where the Information Commissioner lacks the power to compel the disclosure of documents that have been withheld improperly. Instead, the Commissioner is limited to making recommendations, which public institutions can choose to disregard. A study in the Canadian Medical Association Journal has found that the number of female Ontario adolescents who visited emergency rooms or checked into hospitals because of eating disorders increased during the pandemic. The study adds that elevated rates of anorexia and related illnesses among girls persisted even as the pandemic subsided. Vancouver's hotel shortage piques investor interest. The Globe and Mail. The average daily hotel room rate in Canada reached $232 in July, up 29% compared to July 2019, according to data from CoStar. Vancouver, which has seen record-breaking cruise business this year, recorded the highest monthly rate ever recorded by a Canadian city at $346. However, the city is facing a hotel room shortage and needs 20,000 new rooms by 2050. A recent report from Destination Vancouver said the city will miss out on $31 billion in revenue, $8 billion in taxes, and nearly 170,000 jobs if the shortage is not addressed. Stock market minnows are grabbing most of the world's IPOs. CNN. Stock exchanges in emerging economies are attracting an increasing number of initial public offerings, IPOs, as they provide an alternative for local or regional companies looking to tap equity investors for the first time. According to a report by accounting firm EY, emerging market exchanges have accounted for 3/4 of the money raised by companies via IPOs worldwide this year, up from an average of 66% over the previous 5 years. These markets have also attracted 77% of all IPOs, up from 61%. The report noted that 7 of the world's 9 mega IPOs, which raise at least $1 billion, were on exchanges in emerging markets. Smaller exchanges, such as those in Turkey and Romania, are also seeing activity. Hong Kong climbing duo progress at Asian Games, but China, Indonesia aces loom. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong sport climbers Wang Chuknam and Shoji Chan Chung-chi have qualified for the knockout stage in the men's speed qualification at the Asian Games. Wang will face defending champion Reza Alipour Shenazandafard of Iran, while Chan will take on world number 1 Wu Peng of China. Wang qualified in 13th place with a time of 5.790 seconds, while Chan qualified in 15th place. The world record holder, Bedrick Leonardo from Indonesia, clocked a time of 4.978 in his first attempt. The men's round of 16 was set to begin at 8:13 p.m., with the gold medal match at 8:58 p.m. Hong Kong to host LIV Golf League event, club weighs in on use of former course. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong will host the Saudi-backed LIV Golf League tournament next year, a private sports club has said, as it asked for those visiting a public park situated on a portion of the city's oldest course to be given the opportunity to play again. Andy Kwok Wing Leung, captain of the Hong Kong Golf Club, issued the call on Tuesday as he hailed local athletes' unprecedented success after winning a gold and a bronze medal for the sport at the Hangzhou Asian Games. He was referring to Tai Chi Ko's victory in the individual men's golf on Sunday, before the athlete joined Matthew Chung, Jason Hack and Terrence Ng in taking home bronze for the team category. Vancouver's most mouth-watering classic Cantonese restaurants. Financial Times. Vancouver's Cantonese food scene is experiencing a golden age, but the flow of kitchen talent from Hong Kong is slowing down. Many of Vancouver's Cantonese chefs are now in their 60s and 70s, and there is a shortage of new chefs willing to take on the intense apprenticeships required for formal Hong Kong cooking. However, the high quality of Cantonese cooking in Vancouver remains sensational. Vancouver's Cantonese cuisine celebrates local, seasonal ingredients such as British Columbia spot prawns, Asian poultry breeds from nearby farms, and live fish. A unique Vancouver subgenre of Cantonese food has emerged, combining traditional Cantonese techniques with local ingredients. The following are some of the best Cantonese restaurants in Vancouver. Chef's Choice Chinese cuisine offers long-forgotten classic Hong Kong dishes. Landmark Hot Pot House serves top-notch, local seafood. Dynasty Seafood Restaurant specializes in Hong Kong banquet-style dishes, with a focus on vegetarian options. Golden Paramount is known for its meticulously crafted dim sum and simple yet refined dishes. Mac's Noodle House is famous for its wonton noodle soup, one of Hong Kong's quintessential dishes. Paris tightens its grip on the art world, but London is far from beaten yet. Telegraph. London's position as a global art market hub is facing challenges from Paris and Art Basel Paris Plus, according to an article in The Telegraph. While London is currently second only to the US in terms of global market share, the rise of Art Basel Paris Plus has drawn attention to the competition between the cities. The article suggests that London's art market needs government support, citing the need for a single temporary admission scheme for international exhibitors at Frieze Art Fair. Despite the challenges, London has proven its resilience with the successful launch of the Treasure House Fair, which was organized in response to the withdrawal of support for Masterpiece Fair. However, the auction market in London is struggling, with Frieze Week sales estimated to be down 42% from 2017. In comparison, Paris is seeing an increase in auction consignments, with Sotheby's choosing to sell a tranche of the Pauline Carpetas collection in Paris rather than London. China's top PE firm seeks stronger ties with Middle East in hard tech, EVs. South China Morning Post. Hermitage Capital, China's top private equity firm, is in talks with sovereign wealth funds and investment authorities in the Middle East to set up a private equity fund focused on the hard tech and electric vehicle sectors. The firm is looking to help Chinese and global portfolio companies expand into the Middle East, with a focus on Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's high consumption per capita and neutral political stance towards China make it an appealing market, and the country is rapidly building a tech-driven startup community as it seeks to reduce its dependence on fossil fuels. Quinn Emanuel joins stampede of foreign law firms into Singapore. Nikkei Asia. U.S. law firm Quinn Emanuel Urquhart & Sullivan is planning to open an office in Singapore, according to founding partner John Quinn. The firm has applied for a foreign law practice license and expects to be operational by the end of 2019. Several foreign law firms have recently opened offices in Singapore, hoping to capitalize on wealthy Chinese clients looking to move their assets offshore or expand into Southeast Asia. Hong Kongers don't need foreign coaches to win, Yu says after long jump bronze. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong long jumper Tiffany Yu Nayan has won a bronze medal at the Asian Games, claiming the city does not need foreign coaches for its athletes to succeed. Yu set a personal best and a new city record with a jump of 6.50 meters, finishing third in the event. She criticized her former coach from Sweden, Rolf Oman, saying that their time together did not work out. Yu's medal was Hong Kong's first in athletics that did not come on the track. She expressed hope that the achievement would show that Hong Kong athletes and coaches can achieve success in athletics. Apple enforces new check on apps in China as Beijing tightens oversight. Reuters. Apple is now requiring new apps to provide proof of a Chinese government license before they can be released on the China App Store. This move aligns Apple with local rivals who have been following this policy for years to meet tightening state regulations. The license, called an Internet Content Provider (ICP) filing, is a registration system required for websites to operate legally in China. Most local app stores have adopted this requirement since 2017. To obtain an ICP filing license, developers must have a company in China or work with a local publisher, which has been a challenge for foreign apps. Apple's previous loose ICP policy allowed it to offer more mobile apps than local rivals and boosted its popularity in China. However, the Chinese government released a new rule in August that tightened oversight over mobile apps, requiring app stores and developers to submit an app filing with business details. Apple's compliance status could affect the accessibility of hundreds of thousands of apps on its App Store in China, including popular foreign apps like X, formerly known as Twitter, and Telegram. Apple has not commented on the matter. Some developers have voiced concerns over Apple's decision, fearing that the company may further tighten rules to comply with China's regulations. Evergrande detention a signal Beijing won't let superrich off the hook. South China Morning Post. Hui Kayan, founder of troubled property developer China Evergrande Group, has been detained and placed under investigation for suspected crimes. Analysts have indicated that the Chinese government's move against Hui, despite the potential impact on private sector confidence, reflects concerns over the impact of the superrich on China's financial and social stability. Evergrande, the world's most indebted developer, has already filed for bankruptcy protection in the U.S. Xi's ideology-driven policies risk derailing China's future, report. Nikkei Asia. Chinese President Xi Jinping's economic policies, driven by ideology rather than pragmatism, risk undermining the country's future, according to a report by the Asia Society Policy Institute. The report argues that Xi's policies, which aim to reduce inequality and support small and medium-sized businesses while punishing large private sector companies, have fundamentally changed the incentives driving the behavior of local officials, entrepreneurs, and young Chinese. The report also highlights the disillusionment of young college-educated Chinese, who face intense pressure to excel academically and secure high-paying jobs, but often end up working long hours for low pay. This has led to the emergence of an urban counterculture known as lying flat, where young people embrace a minimalist lifestyle with little aspiration. And that's a wrap for today's news. We covered a range of topics, from the release of a companion novel to George Orwell's 1984 to Hong Kong's performance at the Asian Games. But let's dive deeper into the stories and share some analysis. First, let's talk about the release of Julia, the companion novel to George Orwell's 1984. It's fascinating to see how this classic dystopian novel continues to resonate with readers and inspire new works. The themes of surveillance, authoritarianism, and the erosion of personal freedoms explored in 1984 are still relevant today, as the author of the article points out. And when we look at the state of infrastructure and public services in Britain, it's hard not to draw parallels to the descriptions in Orwell's novel. It's a reminder of the importance of vigilance and the need to protect our democratic values. Moving on to the Asian Games, we saw some thrilling cricket matches with Pakistan defeating Hong Kong and India beating Nepal. While Hong Kong didn't come out on top, it's great to see their cricket team competing on the international stage. The Asian Games provide a platform for athletes from different countries to showcase their skills and bring their nations together in friendly competition. In other news, the case against Lieutenant General Stephen Whelan has been dropped due to a lack of evidence. This case was part of a larger reckoning within the Canadian Armed Forces regarding sexual misconduct complaints. It's a reminder that the fight against sexual harassment and assault is ongoing, and there is still work to be done to create a safe and inclusive environment within our institutions. Now, let's talk about Vancouver's hotel shortage. With the average daily room rate reaching new heights, it's clear that there is a demand for accommodations in the city. The need for 20,000 new rooms by 2050 is a significant challenge, and if not addressed, it could result in a loss of revenue and jobs. It will be interesting to see how Vancouver tackles this issue and whether they can meet the growing demand. Shifting gears to the stock market, we see that emerging markets are attracting more initial public offerings, IPOs, than ever before. These markets are providing opportunities for local and regional companies to tap into equity investors and raise capital. It's a promising sign for these economies and showcases their potential for growth. Smaller exchanges, such as those in Turkey and Romania, are also seeing increased activity, which is exciting to see. In the world of sports, Hong Kong climbers Wang Chuknam and Shoji Chan Chung-chi have progressed to the knockout stage at the Asian Games. They will be facing tough competition from world-class climbers, but their qualification is already a great achievement. It's inspiring to see athletes pushing their limits and representing their countries with pride. Speaking of Hong Kong, it will be hosting the LIV Golf League tournament next year. This is a great opportunity for the city to showcase its golfing prowess and attract international attention. It's also a chance for local athletes to compete against some of the best golfers in the world. Hopefully, this event will be a success and further put Hong Kong on the map as a sports destination. Now, let's talk about food. Vancouver's Cantonese cuisine scene is experiencing a golden age. While there may be a shortage of new chefs, the quality of Cantonese cooking remains exceptional. Vancouver's unique twist on Cantonese cuisine, combining traditional techniques with local ingredients, is something to be celebrated. From classic dishes to top-notch seafood, there's something for every food lover in Vancouver. In the art world, London is facing challenges from Paris and Art Basel Paris Plus. While London is currently a global hub for the art market, the rise of these competitors is putting pressure on the city. It will be interesting to see how London responds and whether government support can help maintain its position. However, the successful launch of the Treasure House Fair shows that London still has the ability to adapt and thrive. Moving on to China, Hermitage Capital is looking to strengthen ties with the Middle East in the hard tech and electric vehicle sectors. This partnership has the potential to drive innovation and expand into new markets. With Saudi Arabia's high consumption per capita and focus on tech-driven startups, it's a promising collaboration that could benefit both parties. In the legal world, foreign law firms are flocking to Singapore. The city's strategic location and growing economy make it an attractive destination for international firms. With wealthy Chinese clients looking to move their assets offshore or expand into Southeast Asia, Singapore provides a gateway for these firms to tap into new markets. Let's not forget about the achievements of Hong Kong's athletes. Tiffany Yunayan won a bronze medal in long jump at the Asian Games, proving that Hong Kong doesn't need foreign coaches to succeed. It's a testament to the talent and dedication of Hong Kong's athletes and coaches. This achievement should inspire others and give them confidence in their abilities. Lastly, Apple is enforcing stricter regulations on apps in China to comply with tightening state regulations. This move aligns Apple with local rivals and could affect the accessibility of hundreds of thousands of apps on its App Store in China. It's a reminder of the challenges foreign companies face in navigating China's regulatory landscape. And that's all the news for today. I hope you enjoyed our coverage and analysis. Now it's time for you to join the discussion. What are your thoughts on these stories? Do you have any questions? I'd love to hear your ideas and opinions. Let's keep the conversation going. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.